Hey, it's Beth. Welcome back to Chill English Dose, a space where we learn English naturally through reflections, stories, and real life words. Today, I want to take you with me on a small moment I almost overlooked: the walk home at sunset. It's nothing dramatic, just a simple end to a long day. But somehow, it's the kind of moment that brings you back to yourself without you even noticing. The sky was turning gold when I left the building. Not bright, not fading, just that in-between color that makes everything look softer. I could feel the weight of the day still in my shoulders. You know that feeling, when your body has stopped working, but your mind is still sorting through conversations, tasks, mistakes, things you could have said better. As I walked, the world around me felt strangely ordinary. A boy carrying groceries, a woman locking her shop, a motorcycle passing too fast. Nothing special. But maybe that's why it felt grounding. Sometimes the most comforting part of the day is the part that doesn't try to impress you. I didn't listen to music, no podcast. I just walked. And with every step, something in me softened. I didn't try to think, but thoughts came on their own, slowly, like they were walking beside me. It's funny. Sunsets used to feel poetic when I was younger, like something I was supposed to appreciate deeply. Now they just feel honest. They show you the day exactly as it was. No filter. A mix of good, tiring, confusing, funny, random, a total of everything that happened, but wrapped in warm light so you can look at it without flinching. As I passed a small store, the owner flipped the sign from open to closed. It made me smile a little. Isn't it strange how shops close with so much confidence? No guilt, no panic. Just, that's enough for today. And somehow watching that made me ask myself, do I ever let myself close like that? Most days, the answer is no. I keep thinking, processing, revisiting things I can't change. But on that walk, something clicked. The day was ending whether I was ready or not. And maybe that was okay. Maybe walking home is a kind of boundary, a soft line between the world and your inner world. A gentle reminder that you can step out of the day and step back into yourself. I realized how rarely I check in with myself when I'm busy. It's like I move through the day in pieces, one part working, one part worrying, one part wishing for rest. But when I walk home, especially at sunset, everything returns to one place. My body catches up with my mind, my thoughts slow down, and I can finally hear myself again. Not the loud thoughts, not the I should have done better or I need to do this tomorrow, but the quiet ones, the ones that sound like me. There's something about walking at the end of the day that gives you permission to be human again. Not productive, not perfect, just here. And I think that's what self-connection really is. Not a deep talk, not a long journaling session. Sometimes it's just remembering you exist outside of responsibilities. Remembering you're allowed to breathe. Remembering your inner voice sounds softer than you think. As I kept walking, a few words came to mind. Words that helped me understand why this moment mattered. I want to share them with you the way they showed up naturally. The first one is presence. Its basic meaning is being in a place. But presence is also being in yourself, being in your breath, your body, your senses. Walking home helps me return to that place. The second word is transition. It means the process of changing from one state to another. Sunset is a daily transition, from doing to resting, from giving to receiving, from outside to inside. And transitions are where we often find clarity without trying. Then there's unwind. It means to relax after stress or effort. Walking home at sunset is a simple way of unwinding, not by escaping, but by slowing down enough to catch your breath. And the last word tonight is inner voice. Its meaning is your quiet, personal thoughts. It gets drowned out easily, but somehow during a slow walk in warm light, it becomes easier to hear. That's when it hit me. Maybe the walk home isn't about getting from one place to another. Maybe it's the moment where my thoughts, emotions, and body meet again, and I reconnect with the person I was before the day took over. As I kept walking, something shifted. Not in a dramatic way, just quietly. The kind of shift you only notice when you finally have space to breathe. The air had cooled, the shadows grew longer, and the noise of the day felt like it was falling behind me with every step. I didn't force myself to reflect. I didn't try to have a breakthrough. I simply let the day settle, the way dust settles when something lands. There's a kind of honesty that shows up on the walk home. Maybe it's the light, maybe it's the routine. Maybe it's just that your brain finally stops trying to be on. But whatever the reason, it always feels like the most truthful part of the day. Not pleasant or painful, just real. And I realized something important. This small, ordinary moment was connecting me back to myself. Not the self that worked all day, not the self that tried to keep up, but the self underneath all of that. The one that notices, who listens, who feels. Sometimes we search for self-connection in deep conversations or long journaling sessions, but maybe you don't always need something big to find yourself again. Maybe you just need 10 minutes of walking without rushing and without filling the silence. Maybe you just need a sunset and some space. As I turned the corner toward my building, I noticed how calm the street looked, almost like the neighborhood itself was exhaling after a long day. A bike rolled past, someone was bringing in laundry from their balcony, a cat stretched on a warm patch of concrete. So ordinary, but everything felt more alive because I was finally paying attention. I think that's the magic of transitions like this. They remind you that life isn't only the big moments, the plans, the worries, the goals. It's also this. Walking home, the sun going down, the world slowing with you. These moments are small, but they bring you back to the present. And being present is the first step towards understanding yourself again. Because when you're truly present, you hear things differently. Your thoughts become kinder. Your breathing becomes deeper. Your problems feel less like emergencies and more like things you can face tomorrow. And the version of you underneath the exhaustion finally comes out. We go through so many days in a blur, not realizing how disconnected we've become from ourselves. But the good news is it doesn't take much to reconnect. It might be a walk at sunset. It might be washing your face slowly. It might be staring at the ceiling for a minute before getting up. Self-connection isn't a big ritual. It's a small return. A return to your breath. A return to your inner voice. A return to the person you forget when life gets loud. And maybe that's why the walk home matters so much, because it gives you a soft place to land before the night begins. Sometimes, the most powerful thing you can do at the end of the day is nothing special. Just walk. Slowly. With yourself. I used to think I needed big breakthroughs to feel grounded. Now I think grounding is what happens when you stop hurrying through your own life. And sunset has a way of slowing you down without asking for anything in return. I wonder how many times I walked the same route without ever noticing the color of the buildings, or the way the shadows fall, or the quiet life happening all around me. Maybe this is what it means to grow. Not to change everything, but to start seeing clearly again. If there's one thing I hope you take from this evening walk, it's that small moments can lead you back to yourself. You don't need a big routine or a long reflection session. You just need a moment of presence, even one where you pause long enough to hear your own thoughts again. The walk home doesn't fix your whole life. It doesn't erase stress or solve everything. But it does something quieter, something more important. It reconnects you with the part of yourself that remains steady no matter how chaotic the day was. And when you can return to that place, even for a few minutes, you remember that you're more than your to-dos, more than your tiredness, more than the noise around you. You remember that you're still here, and that's enough. So tonight, I want to ask you, when was the last time you walked slowly, not to get somewhere, but to meet yourself again? You don't have to answer it now. Just carry it with you the next time the sun begins to set. You don't have to wait for a big moment to reconnect with yourself. Sometimes a small walk in warm light is enough. Sometimes the date ends exactly the way you need, gently, quietly, honestly. If tonight's story helped you slow down or breathe a little softer, subscribe to Chill English Dose for more calm stories, gentle reflections, and real-life English you can grow with at your own pace.